Greeting, traveler.
I have no time for games.
The end is coming!
Video.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Week 7 Tavern Talk. As always, I am DoctorFeesh, and alongside me I have JRJuggerLaw.
How's it going, everybody?
It's going well, and shoutouts to Icicles for that resub, 11 months. Let's go. And we also have returning. We have Icicles. He's on 2 weeks ago, and he's back.
I'm back. Did you miss me?
Yes,
I did. I don't know about the rest of them.
definitely did. Okay. And as always, we have the lovely Saku with us as well.
Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing?
Doing pretty good.
We're
I think
good.
we're basically ready to, to discuss everything that's unfolded within the last week. Because now we're getting down to the wire. Now we're getting down to the last 2 to 3 weeks. Some teams only have 2 matches left. That's pretty momentous at this point.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So I'm excited.
All right, so let's say we get right into it, looking at our Week 6 matchups that we had. We're going to start up here in the Gold Conference. And I'll take match 1. We have the Drop Table teams versus the Hot Zilfs. And Drop Table teams just laying the smackdown this week. 20-4 win. That is a lot of points and a lot of denying of points from Mr. Donde's team. We had No Glocko take a 3-1 in the 1 seed Agent PWE, 3-0 over Rabobson. Rabobson getting farther and further from that 550, although I still hope he can get it this season at some point. We have Posca taking a 3-0 over Donde, so 2 sweeps. 3-1 for Mojo Powell in the 4, Snakefall 3-2 in the 5. So that's a clean sweep, 5-0.
I believe that's the first one of the whole season, if I remember correctly.
I would
Seems
definitely,
like it.
I would definitely bet on
I
that.
think it's the first 20-point week. Oh, no, sorry. That's the first one in gold, I believe. I think Red already had one when Dirty Mike and the boys started off week 1 with a full sweep. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I think that's the second. I could be wrong. But I do remember specifically when we talked about this last week, the 2 sweeps had already happened. So we kind of already knew that, Zilfs were going to have a very uphill battle going into this one. So I'm very sad that they didn't get any wins off of this, but I think they're still in a pretty decent position, all things considered. They're definitely, very small point weeks like that can obviously really hurt you in the long run. But I wouldn't count them out by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, big statement win for Drop Table. They're clearly in competition with Hearthstone Academy for the number 1 seed in gold. Having not had their bye yet, they're a little bit behind in the points per week, but big weeks like this will definitely keep them in the running. So it looks good for them competing for that, not just a playoff spot, but trying to get the top seed.
Exactly.
Yeah, so really good way for Drop Table. Zilf's going to look to rebound this week. And then next up we have Hearthstone Academy versus the Pod People. And JR, why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about this one?
It would be my pleasure. So this one was definitely a pretty highly anticipated one, at least from my standpoint, because Hearthstone Academy right now is just they're dominating everybody. Like nobody is touching them, and I find it interesting because this is a team that I'm very happy to see them be successful as they have been this season. But I don't think anybody really expected this. Last season they were doing very well, but they were never at any point like the top team in their conference. And they had a pretty solid run after, but they started off the first 2 weeks with losses. So now to see them undefeated right now is very fascinating to me, especially when you consider the rosters almost identical to last season. But the pod people still put up a pretty good fight. This was a very close one. But sadly, it just was not meant to be for the pod people, and the Hearthstone Academy continued to be undefeated 5-0. Based ended up taking down Ridiculous Hat on stream 3-1. Zeroshio, big win against two-star Mako 3-0. Ghost barely edging out a victory against Wicked Good 3-2. Starlax beating Boozosaurus 3-1. I'm glad to see him starting to regain some momentum, and to win, sweeping our good boy Saku.
It wasn't that was on stream as well on Saturday, but thankfully Donde's OBS crashed, so we only got 14 seconds or something to that effect where Doohan just put the screws to me on the final game to take it at
Good
3-0.
lord.
So
It was a closer series than 3 would indicate. Being the one that cast that with Donde and getting to see it firsthand, Saku, you're really close to pulling off a couple of those wins. It just like doing either got the draw that you needed at the right time, or there's like one little thing at the beginning of a game that might have snowballed that could have gone either way. But yeah, it's definitely closer than 3-0. You played well. It's just the results didn't go your way this time.
yeah,
So.
I knew
For the record, I
messed up
stand
in my.
Saku. I still stand Saku.
Yeah, the Demon Hunter, I knew I messed up really bad as soon as I was trying to. What was I trying to do? I was trying to use.
You had Altruist on the board.
Yeah,
and you
that's
wanted
right.
to play one of the
And
weapons to outcast, and you grabbed the
Yeah.
middle card
I
instead.
grabbed the middle card because I was just thinking, okay, I'll grab this card, and as soon as I flicked it up, and it's like, that's not the
Yeah.
card I wanted. Fuck.
Yeah,
Oh well.
Yeah.
that's okay. Misclicks
Just my-
happen to all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife was laughing at me.
Uh,
Oh man.
I
But
pushed my
out of
chair over
love,
to the
right?
right, and yeah, it was pretty funny.
Okay.
So, but
I mean,
congrats
look,
to Doohan
we said this last week. If you're going to lose to anybody, it might as well be Dwayne.
Yeah,
guys.
Because I don't care what anybody says, that man does not belong in the 5C.
No.
no. He told me via chat that I made the right ban, which was his hunter, because he had like 1,400 or 14,000 matches played with it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus.
He's
Kinda crazy.
Doohan, for those who aren't familiar, he is mainly a wild player, and his main class is hunter. So if you see him playing hunter, it's pretty likely you want to get rid of it because he will know it inside and out and probably beat you with it.
Yep. So,
Yes.
but congrats to
Yeah.
HSA.
Congrats to HSA. Yep. Keeping it
5-0.
strong.
They're the only after 6 weeks, they're the only undefeated team remaining.
Yep.
And they are and I'm very curious to see if they can keep that up. They've obviously got 3 matches left, and they've still got some steep competition, but if they manage to pull off the 8-0 regular season, that would be pretty incredible. So, we'll see.
Definitely impressive. And so
But I'm gonna go nuts for a multitude of reasons if they get their second back-to-back championships ever.
oh man. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
5 rings. I mean, Sage deserves 5 rings. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but
one
that
for,
would just be
one for each finger.
just like I'd be like Sage, like you're not topping this. Just stop.
Yeah. Yeah, his
Got
base.
a lot of season left. so
Yeah, base says got
see how
6
it goes.
matches left.
That's confidence right there.
Yeah, that is confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sage
boy.
has 5 already, but just 4 and
Yep.
only like
Yep.
split up between series.
Yes.
Anyways, match 3, Icicles, why don't you take this one?
Sure. All right. So we've got Dad Legend and Good Luck Albatrosses. And with victories in the 1, 2, and 3, Dad Legend takes a close series over the GLA 15-13. So Zay, Myandon, and Yellow Dart getting their wins for Dad Legend, and Good Luck Albatrosses getting points from their entire roster, but wins specifically from It's Me, Mike V, and Chewbacca. So a really tight series. Another one of those that could have gone either way. If either of those matches had flipped game 5 or might have done a yellow dart, then we're looking at a different result. But Dad Legend takes the win, and they put themselves in a pretty good position for the playoffs here. Meanwhile, good luck Albatrosses. A little bit of a rocky start to the season. Seemed like they might be bouncing back, but I think the last couple of weeks have been kind of tough for them with a couple losses. So they're going to need to put together some wins here in a hurry to get back in the playoff picture. But still a bunch of good players, so it wouldn't shock me to see them make a run nonetheless. So, but hats off to Dad Legend for the win this week. Definitely needed.
Yeah, they're definitely in a very precarious spot right now because they've got a decent amount of points. I forget where they are in the standings, but the tough part for them is that they have only 2 weeks left compared to these other teams, and they have a decent amount of points for that.
Mhm.
But it's definitely going to be knowing that they're like one of the teams that still has a bye left does kind of throw a wrench into things for them because at this point, like, okay, other teams are going to have a chance to catch up. You really need to gain as much of a lead on everybody as you can. And we've seen the last time we had a buys in the regular season 2 seasons ago. It was very crazy because most of the teams, like, we didn't really have a clear playoff picture until the very end. And I remember in my conference, the last team to have a bye was also the team that was so far ahead of everybody, they were already guaranteed to be the 1 seed. So
Yeah.
I'm always like curious as to how these scenarios will play out.
Yeah, we can definitely take a look at that. So, a sneak preview. Before we get to next week's matches, we're going to be looking at those standings and trying to decipher it for ourselves. So, more to come on that front. But
Let's do it.
Any other
But I
comments?
think now it's time for the final match of gold. That would be the Stubs versus Saranite Pangang Saku.
Big win for the Stubs. So 15-11, beating Serenade Pain Gang there. So we got Snake losing to Wesku Abbott. Big Ted defeating Black Swan 3-1. Osmonaut defeating Lemur. And we got Darkseed defeating Karu Finway. And then we got Quaz 3-0ing Swashmerkler. So looks like maybe that was a DQ.
Yeah, that was a DQ.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Just looking at that.
Yeah,
looking for the
at
band.
that.
Like, oops.
And I will say I feel bad for Swashmergler because I know we played him in Hero last week and he lost that match 3-0 against It's Me Mike V. So that's got to be a rough week for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
But hopefully he'll bounce back. But yeah, good win for the Stubs. They're basically in the exact same place as Dad Legend right now. They're 3-3. They're only 6 points behind Dad Legend, and they still have their bye week left. So I'm curious to see like how they make the most of their last 2 matches.
Yeah. So the Stubs, Drop Tables, and Dad Legend only have pretty much 2 weeks to go. So.
Correct.
So, but rough luck for SPG. It's a tough season for them. So Darkseed will have to rebuild yet again.
Yes.
Okay.
Move on to the Red Con.
Look at me back again.
And Saku, it's your lucky day. You get to do 2 matches in a row.
So
I didn't play
now
that very
Defiance
well.
Brotherhood. I think we are underestimating this team a little bit. I think we had ATL winning last week. Predictions. So you had ATL defeating them because they're on a roll themselves. But Defiance Brotherhood came out with a 13-12 close match. So we had Ron Mexico defeating Clone, Pond defeating Easy Bake, A2 losing to Comp. Comp's having a strong season with 4-1 right now. And then we have Matty Ebbs losing to Neb Canuck. And then Timothy Chambers defeating the ever popular Shunsui and his Shadow Realm bringing this. So
The good news is when Shunsui is sent to the Shadow Realm, he always comes back.
that's right.
Yeah.
He owns it. So what?
Oh,
Exactly.
this is definitely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, this is an interesting line for ATL. Because what I've kind of when I look at the bottom, at least the 4 and 5, they have a very strong 4-5, especially considering like having a 300 plus PR4 and then a really strong veteran 5 seed in Shunsui. So it's very interesting to see both of them taking losses in a week. I don't think we'll see that very often. And 8-2 also a very, very, very strong player, who's now in the
Yep.
3. Just got caught up by a
Unfortunately,
really
this is his
strong one.
last week of playing this was his last week of
Oh.
playing THL for the current season. So I'm very kind of sad that he went out on that note in Legacy. But
Yeah.
we'll talk more about that when we talk about ATL's match for this coming week.
Sure.
But but I still feel like this is a pretty strong team top to bottom. But they're all like nobody's having a very standout performance, but
Mm-mm.
also nobody has a more losses than wins right now. So even with only 2 weeks left, I feel relatively optimistic. It's very much worth noting that um, the two teams that are at the top of red right now are the last two teams to have buys for this season.
Okay.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out, knowing where they stand and whether the points they're going to accumulate will be enough to keep other teams from catching up to them.
Right.
Yeah, I'll give a
Cool.
quick shout out here. First off, Tavern Mexico started the Legacy season 0-3 and has climbed back to 3-3. So congrats to him. And then also, we may have underrated Defiance Brotherhood a little bit in the picks last week, but
Oh
the
god, yeah.
THL PAL has them as the only legendary from the Red Conference. So we're pretty high on them overall, being the best team in Red right now.
Yeah.
So
That's the weird thing about like the whole buy situation, because they're definitely the best team right now if you're going off of records, but there's two teams ahead of them
Mhm.
with 3-3 records because Defias had their
Points.
buy and those teams hadn't. But even then, I
Yep.
almost would have expected them to still be ahead of them, because it's like, look at that differential.
Mm-hmm.
Like
More
Defias
to
is the
dive
only
into.
team in red that has only one loss, and they're the only team that has 4 wins or more. Like
They are very strong.
that's like intense.
Yeah. And they're really doing it in the
We
3, 4,
definitely
and
underrate
5. They're doing it in the 3, 4, and 5 because Clone and Easy Bake both have losing records, but Comp, Neb, and Timothy Chambers all have winning records.
Yeah, but like as you'll look at from this week, they were 2-2 going into this one. So like
Yeah.
everybody's still been performing
Definitely.
relatively well, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like this was just I feel like it's just that there wasn't a lot standing out about this team. So like we didn't, and especially because they didn't have a strong season last time around,
Mhm.
there wasn't really much reason to feel so much hype towards them.
Gotcha.
And now and despite even though they changed most of their roster, and now here they are, just kind of proving everybody wrong.
So really good on Defias Brotherhood to have a very strong season so far.
And to basically kick ATL's hot team's butt this week. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
good.
I mean, ATL is still in a good place, but like, yeah, they've had a very hot and cold season. Obviously, got off to a very good start. Like they won 2, lost
Yeah.
2, won another, and then lost another. It's like a cycle of sorts.
They're still
Yep.
getting good points. That's good.
They are, thankfully, which is working
Yeah.
out. Here, I mean, they only lost by 1 point. It was extremely close.
All right.
On to the next one. It is. Oh boy. Well, I decided.
Next one. Let's go to
This
the next
is.
one.
Hey.
Skip. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
I
I'll
take that personally.
No. I will take this one. My team lost this week. I will take this one and be gracious. We had Amberflight Gaming versus Illidan's Death Knight. So we have my team versus JR's team. Neji Boston, I believe, had already won. Neji and JR had won by the week. And then Marty B took a 3-1 over Dragon Rider, which really put Amberflight in a bad spot. But then Christine came in clutch with a 3-0 win over Swelly, getting her first win of the season. And then
Very good.
And then match on the line, I was unable to get a single point, unfortunately, so I got swept by Jerry Damage. So GG's to IDK. Very well played on the week. This was a slugfest.
These were some very fun matches, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Watching the replays for Plants and Neji's match especially was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we were very happy to get this win. We were glad it wound up. I wanted it to be as like close as it was in a way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I really wanted Swelly to get the win to close it out, because like more so because he hadn't won yet. But then like Jerry came in and was like, "Oh God, Jerry versus Feesh. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?" Because this was the point of the season where, last season, where like Jerry was like really struggling and realized, okay, I really need to get like a sub, because of stuff that was happening in his personal life. So I'm very glad to see, like, I hate that it came at Feesh's expense, but I was
It's
very
fine.
happy that Jerry was able to come out and, show him like I am back and I'm,
Yeah.
ready to kick some butt.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, losing this match helped me realize that I have to get a couple things in order for the next couple of weeks. So we'll talk about that more when we get to the preview.
Yeah.
But we'll move
Everybody
on.
should be excited though.
Yeah, we'll move on to match number 3, which is not Defiance Brotherhood. It's Dirty Mike and the Boys
Dirty Mike.
versus Chop. And JR, go ahead and give us the rundown.
Dirty Mike and the Boys, honestly, like, I'm kind of shocked by this match, not in terms of the results, but like I'm looking at the points from each of these, and like Dirty Mike and the Boys is 2-3, and they're still ahead of several teams who've played the same amount of matches as them and are 3-2, including Chop. That's kind of absurd. Like, these guys just have been picking up a lot of points. When you put it in perspective, like, it's obviously very doable, but man, is that crazy. But no, this week they unfortunately fell to Chop, who are, one of those teams that's definitely really keeping themselves in the running, but also, haven't necessarily made the biggest impact as far as our discussions go. But like, looking at that team, Liquid Ox, Markshire, Durden, Scritch, Sharkbait, they're all really pulling it together. I feel like this match really ended up being the big decider was Sharkbait versus Lefty. I remember we were talking about that last week and how, like, this would have been a huge win for her because, Lefty is such a veteran. He's arguably one of the best 5 seeds, no business being there. And she took him down in a close series, but she won all the same. And, that was, that's pretty impactful and pretty meaningful. I mean, I think that might at least put her close to the big game hunter. I think we were saying like it's either she almost passes you, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what the
Feesh?
actual BGH is. I mean,
No, that's right. She almost
she
passes
almost
you,
passed. She almost passed. I'm not sure if I'm not even sure if I'm the actual BGH.
I think. Fair enough.
So
But I would also say the other big result that was worth mentioning was Astral Frog, or Astral Pog, as we've been calling him, taking his first loss of the season against Durden.
yeah.
That undefeated run unfortunately came to an end. So I guess if there's a sibling rivalry going here, Base is going to brag that she beat her brother. Went undefeated longer.
That
I
could
don't
very
know.
well
Base
be.
can correct me on that at a later point, but
Yeah.
fun
Base
stuff.
Base saying it might be the all-time BGH by True PR, which I would think so.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have to figure that out. But
Sure.
oh, no sibling rivalry. I mean, I tried. I mean, give you some credit.
Base is very supportive of Astral Frog.
I mean, I knew that. It's just I'm just trying to have a little fun.
I cannot fight my brother.
That's fair.
All right.
But yeah, I feel like Chop, this was, Chop, a big win for them. They're definitely in a good place here. I'm also surprised that almost every single match, except for the 2 seed one, went to 5 games. So definitely an exciting one to watch unfold.
Yeah. Okay, and then we have one last match to talk about. I ran over it. It is Noyo team versus Chaos Theory. Icicles. Oh man, I wish that I had looked at the result first before picking you to do this. But yeah, this is Icicles' match.
I have insider info. This is perfect. So
Cool.
This was the THL PAL Civil War between
It was.
Arms and myself, our 2 teams that we captained. So we're having a little bit of fun on the pod about that. So I may have won my match, but Matt got the win overall in the series. So it started out with Maj and or Image. Mage and Zethund winning over GHP and Jester. And then I took down Catharsis and Risen took down Man at Arms. And it came down to Totina's Pizza versus Silver T Fox Demon. Went to 5 games.
Oh man.
And yeah, could have gone either way. So
awesome.
Congrats to an oil team, a big win for them. Certainly, 2 teams kind of towards the bottom of the standings that are really looking for all the points they could get. But they pulled it out this week. So kind of puts us in a tough spot where we need to win kind of the rest of the way. And as we'll get to in the future, I may have not given us a good start this week, but that's for later.
Oh man.
For now, congrats to a Noyo team picking up a big win.
It is worth mentioning, though, Icicles, that much like your team's run last season, you guys are in a very precarious spot where, um, even though your record is one of the like lesser records of the conference, you still have a solid amount of points given your record. You know, you guys are
Yeah,
still not far behind even the teams that are 3-2, which is kind of amazing to me.
I know it's heartbreaking though because like last season where we were losing every week, but always losing close, always scoring double-digit points, and it just
Right.
means that every series comes down to like that last match, and then you're just that close to winning, but not able to get over the hump. So it wears on you a little bit, but that's okay. We still got a few weeks
I
left.
mean, you guys still have 3 weeks left. You definitely have. I think this could still very much be your time, but I think it's also good that like you guys are still very much in the playoff picture despite the struggles you've had. So I commend you
Yep,
guys for that.
gotta get some wins.
I will say I also find it kind of unfortunate because because after Mike Lowe's departure, you are now the only returning member of your team from last season.
Yeah, that's true. That's okay though.
Like a complete roster change, and I thought like at the very least that would
Makes up
help
the
you guys,
karma.
but it's not over yet.
Yeah.
It's
No,
not.
I think
Wasn't s- yeah.
yeah, go ahead, Saku.
I was just gonna say that I thought Silver was on your team last season, but
I
maybe
know
that was
last season we had Barcode as our
oh
five.
Barcode. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So she was a good member of the team, but wanted to kind of it was her first season in THL last
Yep,
season.
yep.
So she just kind of wanted to take a step back and see if the competitive scene was if this was the right competitive scene for her. So but yeah,
Diana Dunn's
Silver's
better half. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, I was gonna
Oh,
say that's how I know her as.
yeah. No, she was great. So she contributed to our logo, getting that worked out
Oh,
for us.
Nice.
nice.
So
awesome.
yeah, so she's still a part of the team, even if she's not playing this season. So
Mhm.
Well, we're definitely
Sweet.
rooting for you guys, and that concludes our reviews of last week. Fish, you want to take the commercial break?
Um, sure. Thank you so much for tuning into Tavern Talk. If you are enjoying the show, please make sure you check out our other talk shows that we have starting on Monday with Wild and Out, which has Marty B, our NHL NJ fan one. We have Memnark and blinking on the other person.
It's me, Mike V.
And it's me, Mike V. We have the Saloon on Tuesday with the Big Ted, Ron Mexico, and Sage and guests. Um, and Hearts Center on Wednesday with Dawn Day, Lotus Knight, Brushy Tuna, and 2-Star Mako. And then if you can't even get enough of that, we have matches streamed every weekend. Friday night fights, Salty Saturday, and Sunday night showdowns, all starting on their respective nights around 8 p.m. Eastern. And we have Schoolstone on the weekends as well with Lotus Knight and Friends, which are streamed during the daytime on both Saturday and Sunday. If you would like to compete in those matches, please make sure to contact Saku, Donde, Lotus Knight, or even Brushy Tuna for that. And then also, have you considered subscribing to our channel? Any subscription money goes to making THL content much better. We have blog content. We have all these wonderful channel shows, and also if you have Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime, or what is now known as Prime Gaming, and you have not used it yet, please consider using it on Team Hearth Legends. We would very much appreciate it. And you can also do things for free, like following the channel and following us on all of our various social medias. And you subscribe and hit the heart buttons, follow the channel, and make sure that you are keeping your notifications on to see when we go live. So yeah, that was
Good.
okay.
You were fine.
Practice
We're
makes
fine,
perfect,
buddy.
dude. So we've
Yeah.
all been there. So it's all good.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. So
All right. So now we're going to talk about the standings
Yes.
going into week 7.
yeah. So as you see here on our screen, we have standings as of now. So in the Gold Conference, we have our top point earners, drop table teams with who have played 6 matches. So they're at 99 points with 6 matches, not to be outdone by Hearthstone Academy, with 97 points in 5 matches. Gosh, that's insane. So just overall, and then going down the line, Dad Legend, Stubbs, Pod People, Zilfs, GLA, SPG, Diamond Alley Cats, Red Conference, ATL, Amber Flight, Defiance, and Dirty Mike would sit in the playoffs if all were there now, but it's so close with Anoyo, IDK, Chop, Blood Bloomers, Chaos Series. So, what are your guys' general thoughts on what we're looking at?
Yeah, so starting off in the goal conference, I mean, so the one thing that had added to the standings here is the points per week, and I think that really helps out with deciphering where teams kind of stack up, despite having the bye weeks. So it's a really good metric to show that Hearthstone Academy actually technically is in first place, even if they don't have the most points total, they have the most points per week, and so if they just keep at their current pace, they'll end up as the number 1 seed. And so the same can be said for Defiance Brotherhood on the Red Conference. So that record of 4-1. It's not that they're scoring a few points, is that they're scoring a lot of points per week. So, and when Red in particular is really packed. So even my team at the bottom of the standings right now, we're still within a week of the teams in the playoffs. So, a couple of big wins for us, and we're right there in it. On the gold side, I think it's a little more stratified, where you have Drop Table and Hearthstone Academy at the top of the standings, pretty far ahead. And Saturday Night Pain Gang and Diamonds Alley Cats are kind of in a rough spot there towards the bottom. But otherwise, I think the rest of the teams all have a pretty good chance to make the playoffs. So it should be some pretty competitive races coming down the final 3 weeks of the season.
This is definitely why we say like every point matters, because like
Yeah.
those extra 2 points you got in a match or several matches could be like so impactful down the road.
Or even a single
when the
point
point
if you
gets-
in a loss, a point is a point, so it's that much closer to the top. So
Right. I just definitely always feel way more upbeat about losing 3-2 compared to like 3-1 or 3-0.
Yep.
Because at least I'm like, all right, I got 2 solid points. That makes a big difference. And it can really help put us, it can really help make up for the loss, or at least like minimize the damage done by that loss. So I would say gold, Drop Table, and Hearthstone Academy are definitely looking at the top. I'm very curious to see where Dad Legend is going to stand after this week, since they have the bye and they're currently in 3rd. But realistically, we know that both Pod People and the Stubbs are going to pass them. So they're still very much going to be in the running, but that's going to be, how far behind they're going to be from those teams is going to be, the big question, and like, in terms of determining their likelihood of getting back up to the top. With Red, nothing feels certain in this right now.
Oh,
Because like even if you look, because like I said, ATL and Amberflight Gaming, they are the last 2 teams to have buys, and they're at the very top. But we know like once those buys happen, that those gaps are going to close. And the problem is neither team has a particularly huge gap over a huge lead. I mean, over the majority of teams. Like Amberflight Gaming, like that they could both still end up being in a good spot, but it's just going to mean that them getting wins these last 2 weeks is going to be oh so important. And if they lose, they should hope they still get a lot of points for that week.
I think Red's definitely coming down to the wire. I don't know that any team is going to be locked in going into the final week. Maybe Defiance if they keep putting up big wins. But otherwise, I think every team that you see here in the standings is going to be going into week 9 with a chance to make the playoffs.
We're definitely not going to know if any team is locked in Red until the very last week.
no, definitely.
Like it's too close right now, and I can't see anything happening within the next 2 weeks that's gonna make me go, oh yeah, like this team is locked. Like even at this point, I don't even think Drop Table is locked, because they still have their bye week happening, so that's gonna be an issue.
the final week of the week 9 there's their bye week. So
I think HSA isn't locked, but I also think that it's hard for me to picture a scenario where they don't make it, because they're averaging a solid amount of points and they still have 3 weeks left. Even if they finish the season like 5-3 somehow, which I don't even think is going to happen. I think they would still be in really good shape just looking at the overall records right now.
it'd be interesting to see the points against as well per team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
But that's
great to
basically
see
the
the
picture we
stats.
have right now. So
Yep.
we will probably try to look at this. I think we'll probably try to do this the next 2 weeks. Look at the standings and see what kind of valuable information we can decipher, and obviously what information we're just speculating at this point.
Mhm.
But
Alright.
I'm definitely very excited because the teams that have buys this week are definitely going to have shake things up a little bit.
Agreed.
Sir, with that, let's get into our preview for week 7. Dr.
Starting with the
Feesh, I think
Gold
you're up first.
Conference.
Starting with gold. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So ooh, take it down there.
So it should be noted one match from this series has already been played.
Oh, I'll get it when I do the
It's all right.
refresh. No, we have
Wicked Good taking a 3-1 over Pasca.
Oh, okay. I haven't reset my actual browser, but
It's all right. No big deal.
we
He's
have
pointing at me.
what?
Nothing. Just
Playing
playing.
stuff trash over there.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, there it is. So Wicked Good did take that over them. So I'll go ahead and run through my predictions for this one. In the ones, so we have Glocko versus Hat in the 1, and I have probably made a bad pick here going against our Hat, but I also will never pick against Glocko. And so I went for no Glocko here over our Hat. It'll be a close match, Garant. I would definitely think. Taking Agent PWE in the 2. I took Wicked Good in the 3. So actually, I got that correct. And I have Mojo and Snake Fods taking it in the 4 and 5. So I actually have a 4-1 for drop table teams.
Wow. Which is saying something considering they're already down 1-0 in matches.
But it would still leave that because I picked Wicked.
That's fair. I'm gonna say R Hat and Zeroshi are taking in the 1-2 because I do not bet against those guys most of the time. And I mean R Hat I just don't bet against in general. I'm sorry. I love no Glocko, but he's no R Hat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I have to say that Snake Fods takes it against Saku. Sorry, Saku. You know I love you, but I gotta bounce it out
I
a little
won
bit.
BGH last season because I defeated Snake Fods.
Never mind.
He's
Never
out for
mind.
revenge.
Oh,
Never
Revenge
mind.
But
Tour.
that was a different meta. So
No, I don't care. Never mind. That changes things. Pod people 4-1. Only Mojo Powell wins.
only Mojo Powell wins. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we'll
And I
take
don't
that.
like betting against Starlax because I love the guy and his
Ah.
dance moves. But yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
For
People
my
winning this 3-2, taking Hat, Wicked Good already with a win, and taking Starlax, my hero teammate. Saku, if you can't pick yourself, then I can't pick you either. And then PWE is just on a roll, so taking him over Zoroshio, that's a tough match to call. But
That one's going to be very close. And they
yeah.
brought very different classes this week.
Yeah, it'd be a fun one to catch on stream if
Mhm.
possible. But if not, I still think Pod People gets the upside over Dot Table, if you can call it that. I think both these teams are really really good teams, well positioned for the playoffs, and yeah, it's going to be a highly competitive series.
All right.
yeah, for me, I got 4-1 pods. So that's
Everybody
our
but
hat,
yourself.
0 Wicked Goods, Starlax, and then Snake Fods beats me, obviously.
I was corrected last week that this is a Quaz pick as opposed to
Yeah, it's
a Saku or
it's a
Donde
Quaz
pick.
but I think Snake Fods has a a point to drive across to make sure that
Yeah.
he takes care of business.
So
So
that getting BGH 2 seasons in a row.
so we'll see. He's an excellent player, and I certainly don't put it past him to.
Still crazy to me that
Definitely.
the top team that the teams that are ranked at the top in points for both conferences are both 3-3 teams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like
very
what a
competitive
wild
season.
season that we're having right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Next match.
Oh, I get this one. Nice.
HSA versus the Stubbs. Yep, Saku leads.
So, we're refreshing. Okay, so yeah, the my picks. We have Based versus Snake, Ghost versus the Big Ted, 2-star Mako versus Oz, Boozosaurus versus Karufumwe, and then we have a Duin versus the Quaz. So yeah, so I got base Big Ted, Oz, Booze, and Duin, who had already won his match, I think today or last night, versus a Quaz. So it's a 3-2 win for HSA. I get a little bit closer just because the Big Ted has been winning quite a bit, and I find Ghost and Booze have seemed to be either. I think Ghost just won the final 2 games in a row. Past 2 weeks.
He has won the last 2 weeks in a row. Yes, he
Yeah,
started
so
off
it's
0-3.
so he's starting to catch a little bit of catch up a little bit and help carry because Based and Doing have been the bookends that are holding this team together. That's the only negative, but they're all there to support each other, and with the PR is pretty stable.
Yeah.
So
The fact that they still have 2 players that were undefeated up until this week and now to win is 6-0 is
Yep.
just
Yep.
like
Unreal.
everybody on the team is doing moderately well, but like that just goes to show just how consistent they've been. Because when you've got 2 people getting a win every week, that just makes winning the match for the week, the series for the week, that much easier.
all you need is just one more person or a collective group to get that.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So, which seems to be what they're doing. So,
Right.
see what I did there? Doing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Anyway.
I see. What
I
you
liked
did
it.
there,
I like
Saku.
it.
That's very proud of you.
I just
I
appreciate
approve, I
all of the.
approve this.
I
approve
appreciate all of
this
your
immensely.
puns.
If you don't appreciate
Make
Saku
the
for
stage right.
everything he does, then you're doing life wrong.
you're
That's
gonna
all
get-
I'm going to say.
You're gonna get the hook from off screen.
Yeah.
All right.
So JR, what's
Basically.
Japanese match?
This one. So actually, I think I think this is gonna be a trend of 3-2 HSA. I'm gonna say Based takes it in the 1, Big Ted takes it in the 2, and I'm not just saying that because I want to use some good mojo, knowing I'm playing him in Hero this week. Oz takes it in the 3. Booze takes it in the 4, and of course, DeWin already took it in the 5. So 3-2 HSA.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think we've all got HSA 3-2 here. Not to step on any other predictions coming later, but so I'll just throw the curveball out here. HSA 3-2, but I'm gonna take Snake over Based. I'm gonna take Ghost over Ted. I'm gonna take Mako over Oz, and I'm gonna take Crewfinway over Boots. I'm gonna take 4 straight upsets. I think. Although honestly, these are all.
Are you just
political
trying to be a
factors.
contrarian, or
I'm being a contrarian entirely in this prediction.
okay? I'm just making
I gave
sure.
myself some flexibility in just writing down the teams, not the players, so I could just kind of make it up as I went along. So
There you go.
I'm almost guaranteed
that
to be wrong
works.
here, but it should be fun. So, but I think HSA is just on a roll, and I think they're going to take it this week.
So I'll make it easy. I picked the same as Saku. I went Base, Ted, Oz, and Booze to win from here. So I don't really have too much else to say, unfortunately. So
I think that's all there is to say.
yeah.
So we can move on to the next match.
The Zilfs versus
Zilfs.
Saranite Pangang, and we already have one result as you're seeing on screen. Black Swan sweeping the legendary Rebobson, the Rebobbiest of sons, as I like to call him.
Yeah. That's quite a an outcome.
That's quite an upset.
Yeah. All right, Icicles, you want to go ahead and give us your predictions?
Sure. Yeah, I can do the rest of this rundown. So
Sure.
I've got Here's I Thought, Zephyr says Lethal for sure, winning 3-2 over Saranite Pangang. I would have picked Rubobson to win that match, but I think I'll just stick to my 3-2 guns on Zelf's winning here. So we'll say Coles and Donde and Anfall pick up the 3 wins that Hot Zelfs needs here, although they will need wins with good points, potentially from all then. Because starting out with a sweep loss means you are potentially in danger of winning in matches but losing in points. So certainly need to kind of pick up the pace a little bit for the rest of their players. But I would take the Zilfs here still. Feesh, what about you?
So I'm picking a slight I'm picking an overall team upset win for SPG. After seeing Black Swan get the sweep, I'm gonna say 3-2 Saranite Pangang. Cole's in the 1. I'm picking Lemur over Donde in the 3. Donde's been struggling a bit across all the series lately. And Lemur has been winning, so I'm gonna say Lemur's a little hotter. I'll give him the slight upset win. Anfall in the 4 and Swash in the 5, so 3-2 SPG.
Good. Yeah, that is a little bit of an upset. Saturday Night Pancake having kind of a tough season so far, but off to a
Yeah.
good start this week. So, JR, what you thinking?
I mean, look, I would love to see Saturday Night Pangang pull off like the ultimate underdog story, like win the next 3 matches and just, finish off 4-4 and maybe have a shot at playoffs. But I also really want to see the Zilfs make a comeback after what happened last week. I really like this team and I don't want to see them fall too far behind. And I also just don't. I think at this point, Saturday Night Pangang, just given the amount of points they have up until this point, it's really going to be a very near impossible impossible hill to climb. So I'm going to say Coles, Donde, and Anful win their matches, and then Jim Philos and Black Swan will take wins for SPG, but it's still going to be Zilfs taking this one 3-2.
Oh, you mean Swash then?
Yeah, sorry, Swash beating Jim Philos. Yeah.
Okay. And Saku.
Cole's beating Rescue Wabbit. I got Donde accidentally winning versus Lemur.
Wait, why accidentally?
Well,
Accidents.
if you
They
heard
happen.
last night's stream, he didn't want us to talk about his last week's week 5's match at all. So I just felt I'm
I
trying to
was
give him a
watching.
little
I
bit of
forgot about
encouragement.
that.
Just to give him a little bit of encouragement to say he will accidentally defeat Lemur. So
I like
accidentally
it.
on
That's
purpose.
love right there.
I
Those
like it.
two.
So it's then we got Anfall winning for Dark Seed, and then we have Swash defeating Jim. So I got 4-1 Zilfs. This is including Rebob.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Oh.
not including Rebob, I should say. I have in brackets just because I didn't know Rebob was
Poor
going to
Rebob.
win. So.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to see him break like the 550 barrier,
Me
and now it's
too.
just like, well, back under 500 again.
Yeah.
It's just a mental block at this point. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
it's like trying to get
gotta
to Legend
forget
for the first time.
you just gotta forget about the number and just play, right? Forget
That's
about the
true.
number and just play. It's just like
Definitely.
watching a toast trying to work in the toaster.
Yeah.
Never pops. So
Mm-hmm.
All right, last match.
That's
for
too real,
gold.
Saku.
So we have our last
JR.
match to look at. We have Good Luck Albatrosses versus Diamond's Alley Cat. JR, why don't you
Alrighty then.
that's this one?
Yep. This one, I mean, both of these teams are in very similar spots. Unfortunately, they're near the bottom of the standings in their respective conferences, and they're both really just hoping that they can win these last 3 weeks to maybe have a shot at playoffs. But it's definitely tough. This one is definitely a tough call, though. All these teams are kind of having similar, like all these players actually have very like the matchups, as you'll see, they're pretty similar records. The like Mike V and Diamond are both really struggling, and then you've got like Lotus and Heat Shock are both 2-3, Skittles and Zancat both 3-2, like Chewbacca and 8-Bit both 2-3. Like these teams are very parallel in a lot of respects. So I'm Lotus is my man. I do love the hell out of him. So I'm definitely going to say he takes it over Heat Shock. Just like Heat Shock's really good, but I think if there's a player who I can confidently say is capable of pulling off the win against him, it's Lotus Knight. I'm going to say Skittles takes it in the 2. I'm going to say Bill Snyder taking it in the 3. I gotta vote for my man Mike V in the 4. And for the sake of balance, I'm going to say 8-Bit takes it in the 5. So 3-2 GLA.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, sounds
I'm
good.
gonna disagree with you just a little bit. I do not think
Just
against Heat
to be a
Shock.
contrarian, right?
Yeah, no. This one I just feel good about. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
even being contrarian here. I think Diamond's Alley Cats takes it here. I think Heat Shock's too good a player to keep that losing record going on the legacy side. I'll never pick against a teammate, so Skittles I think takes it in the 2. Bill Snyder I would pick in the 3. This worked for me the last time I was on, so I'm gonna pick Diamond to get his first win in Legacy over It's Me Mike V. And then Chewbacca 8-Bit, kind of a toss-up, but I'll take Chew in this one. I think I like his classes just ever so slightly better. But that does give a 3-2 victory to Diamond's Alley Cats. So trying to build back up some points to match their record. But yeah, still a long way to go for both these teams. So definitely an important week that you need to get a win out of. Yeah, Feesh, you're up.
I'm in full agreement with you. I picked Heat Shock, Skittles, Bill Snyder, Diamond to get his first win, and Chewbacca. So 3-2 Diamonds, Alley Cats.
Way to go, Diamond. You're getting picked.
Yeah, man, we love you. We love Diamond.
I
Yeah.
really love
Saku.
Diamond, and I want to see him get his first win. But it's like he has the misfortune of playing against one of my closest friends in THL, Mike V. So
Awesome.
Definitely a tough match.
Yeah.
So I got 4-1 GLA. So I got LK defeating Echok, Skills defeating Zancat. I got Wild defeating Bill Snyder, and then I got Diamond winning, and then Shu defeating 8-Bit. So
4 to
because
1
all of us
GLA.
picked Diamond to win, that means
Oh man.
he's gonna win.
Yeah.
Everyone but me picked Diamond.
You
Fix
won't hold
that.
it against you. It's fine.
Fix that.
You say that now, but
Nobody can have a goose egg forever.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely. Alright, so
Alright,
shall we
so,
move
yeah.
on to the Red
So that
Conference?
finishes up for the Gold Conference, and now we're moving on to the Red Conference. Starting off, this is mine apparently. ATL versus Dirty Mike and the boys. Wow, this is going to be an exciting one. I can already tell because ATL, like I said before, ATL kind of like they really need to like get these last 2 wins in order to give themselves the best playoff chance because they're in the lead right now, but they could easily be overtaken at this point. And they're going up against Dirty Mike and the boys, who are 2-3, but like I said, like I also said about them, are still ahead of teams with better records than them. So they're really averaging the points this season. And the big thing to note is that 8-2, as I said before, he is taken a step back from THL for the remainder of the season, and he has been subbed in by the captain himself, Blue Spottin. Now everybody knows, like at this point, Blue plays in Hero pretty much every season. He hasn't actually played Legacy in a while. He kind of decided to take a step back a while ago, and has just been captaining only ever since. But he is not one to be underestimated. Unfortunately, though, he has the misfortune of playing Astral Frog this week. So, your guess is as good as mine. But I'm going to say Ron Mexico, I think he's on a roll right now. I'm thinking he's going to take down. I'm going to say Pond takes down Tony Montana. Astro Frog is going to take down Blue Spartan. Matty Ebbs is going to take down Surlos. And Lefty is going to take down Shunsui. So that is going to be a very close 3-2. Yes, 3-2 ATL.
Okay. And Saku, why don't you go ahead and give us your picks?
So I got Fueled is a bum, gonna win.
Yeah.
Over Ron Mexico.
We kind of already expected that.
Yeah, that's a given.
That's a given.
And Ron knows too. Ron absolutely knows where his place is right now. So
Yeah.
I've got Pond winning. I got Astro Frog winning. Matty Ebbs winning, and Lefty defeating his best buddy Shunsui there. So last time these guys were on stream, they were actually sitting right beside each other and playing. Well, not beside, but head to head. So it's pretty
that's
neat.
cool.
So I got 3-2 DMBs.
It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one, indeed.
Listen.
Icicles.
Yeah, I'm taking ATL 4-1 here. I think ATL is starting to catch a stride a little bit. I know they lost last week, but with Ron on a roll, I think he wins. I think Pond wins. I think the one loss is Blue Spartan. I think he's rusty. I don't think he remembers how to play Conquest. So I'll take Astral Frog over him. And then I'll take Matty Ebbs and Shunsui finishing out the week.
Ouch.
Yeah. So yeah, 4-1 ATL. I think Blue Spartan would be happy with that result, all things considered.
He would be. That's true. He's one of the veterans of THL. He's the only player on this team who's been around who was in THL before me. So it's been he's very seasoned. So I think he's a bit rusty, but if he was playing somebody who had less momentum on their side, I'd definitely give him the win. And lastly, Feesh.
I am picking a 3-2 for Always Top Deck Lethal. I'm picking Ron in the one. I don't pick against Ron. He's one of my boys. And he's almost to 550. He dropped out of it. I think he's almost back to 550. If he ever was this season, I don't remember. I'm picking
He was close, I think.
picking Free Hong Kong or Pond in the 2. Picking Astral Pog in the 3. Picking Matty Ebbs in the 4 and Lefty in the 5. A close one. All these I'm picking pretty close on all of these.
You and I picked the same exact results for this one.
Nice.
But yeah, I think this is going to be an exciting one way or the other. I think I could see ATL winning this 4-1, but my gut tells me this is like 2-2 going into the very last match.
Yeah.
And like, it's just going to be like high pressure, exciting situation. So we'll see. Next up, Amber Flight Gaming versus Chop, Mr. Feesh.
Cool. I'm just gonna let my page refresh because I believe there's a okay, it hasn't been put up yet, but we were informed in the chat that there is a result for this. So we have Amber Flight Gaming versus Chop. We have Neji Boston versus Liquid Ox, Dragon Rider versus Markshire, Christine versus Durden, Bitbeaker versus Scritch, and in the 5, I needed a sub. Okay, yeah. I needed a sub, and so we turned to a fellow fish in Brushy Tuna in the 5.
Brushy allowed to sub in the 5.
But
And-
no. Feesh.
Come on.
Brushy's a fish. You're a fish. They're not the same thing.
Oh, well, whatever.
But he has
it's close.
fish for an icon.
Yeah, I do.
This is true.
Yeah.
But then he should just call himself Dr. Fish.
I mean, let's be honest. They're both shark bait. So
Yeah. Yeah, so it's Brushy Tuna versus Sharkbait in the 5. We had results that Brushy Tuna took a 3-1 over Sharkbait here in the chat. So congrats to Brushy Tuna picking me up. That is definitely a cheat code, Brushy, you're right. Yeah, 200 legacy PR for a guy who's a really good player is something else.
He's terrible.
Brushy in
That's
the
why he's in the
5.
5
I was
seed.
like,
He's terrible.
Yeah.
But I love him.
So
I was gonna say when I found out Brushy was subbing for you, my first thought was, wait, Brushy's PR is low enough where he could be a 5 seed? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
He threw. He threw.
Yeah, he threw. Probably.
I mean,
I have no confirmation.
It's been a while since he actually played Legacy, so
Yeah. So
I
we're
didn't consider that part.
So running down the rest of my picks, obviously I'm gonna pick Neji, Dragon Rider, Christine, and Bitbeaker to round out a 5-0 Dr. Biased pick for myself. So now on to non-biased picks. We have we'll throw it to Icicles.
Feesh, I'm biased towards you. You knew this
Oh,
already.
I know, but
You knew what you signed up for.
of course.
So going against the grain here a little bit. I think I'm taking Chop here. And the past results don't necessarily go along with what I'm picking here, but I think Ox is going to knock off Neji in undefeated streak. And they're both like phenomenal players that consistently top 100 legends, so it'll be a really good match. I think Markshire takes it. I think Durden takes it. Sorry, ladies, I'm picking against y'all this week. I'll make it up to you next time. But I got Bitbeaker and Brushy winning for AFG in the 4-5 to keep it close. But I think Chop takes this week. A little bit of an upset, I think. I think AFG has been really strong, but this might be the week that things kind of turn around for Chop. So taking them.
I avoided the getting picked against by Icicles this week by just not playing.
By not playing, yeah.
Yeah.
Bowed out.
I should have made the Saku joke of 5-0 because they dropped some scrub in the 5, but
There you go.
There you go.
There we go.
I like it. Some spice to your
I think
niche.
though this is going to be a close one. I'm going to say, despite the fact that Liquid Ox is a insanely good player, I think Neji Boston has shown that this is like his season for Legacy. He is on complete fire. So I think he's going to take that with the momentum he has on his side. Dragon Rider, I think she is going to bounce back in the coming weeks, but I think this week having to play against Markshire, you know what? You're playing against arguably one of the best 2 seeds in all of THL right now, so I got to give that one to Markshire. I'm going to say Durden takes down Christine, even though I would love for her to get a big upset here, having gotten her first win of the season last week. But I do think Bitbeaker is going to take it in the 4, and since Brushy already took it in the 5, that would be a 3-2 Amber Flight Gaming.
only person left is
I got
Saku.
I got 3-2 Amber Flight Gaming. I got Neji winning, Markshire, Durden, Bitbeaker, and the Brush. The Brush, man. Brushy Brush. So, I
Mhm.
did pick you, buddy. So,
Yeah.
don't get mad.
Yeah, we all picked him and he didn't get Caster Curse, which is good because he played
I
the match.
know,
He
right?
played the match before we got to pick him. All right.
Crazy SOB.
So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We have Defias Brotherhood versus Illidan's Death Knights. Looks like we actually do have classes in for Super Murloc and Neb Canuck. So,
Yes.
Icicles, take it away.
All right, so my theoretically best team in the Red Conference, Defiance Brotherhood, taking on JR's team, Elden's Death Knights. And I think this one's going to be close, but given the nod to Defias, I'm going to give it to 1, 2, 4 for Defias. So Clone Easy Bake getting wins over Plants and Marty B, Neb Canuck winning over Super Sub, Super Murloc. Jared, I think you're going to stay undefeated. I'm going against my normal habit of picking against my co-host. I think you take the win over Compo. That's going to be a really fun match. I'm sure you're
I'm
going to enjoy it.
excited.
And I think Jerry Damage takes it over Timothy Chambers, but I'm usually proven wrong when I pick against Mr. Chambers. So we'll see if that continues. But yeah, 3-2 Defias. Sorry, JR. You get the win, team gets the loss.
I mean, I'll take that as like, it's that could have been worse. You could have picked my team to lose and me to lose, so I'll take what I can get. I'm still kind of shocked that I'm 5-0, but I'm just going to enjoy the moment at this point.
Not only 5-0, but he is he's number 1 in Legacy player ranks.
Oh, for the PPR,
Yeah,
yes.
the Legacy PPR, JR's number 1, edging over Neji Boston.
Yeah, because I'm apparently 15-3 in games right now, and I have no idea how I pulled that off.
Because you're playing really good.
I know, but it's like I consider myself a pretty good player, but not that good. I literally said in the chat center last night, I'm gonna enjoy this moment while I can because it's never going to happen again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I might have another good season. We'll see, but I'll let the rest of you Feesh. What are your predictions for this one?
So I'm picking Clone in the 1, picking Marty B in the 2. He's really good. Like
He's on a roll too.
He took a really good 3-1 win over Dragon Rider, and she's no pushover at all.
She is not whatsoever.
So I'm picking Marty B. I'm picking JR to continue the undefeated season. I'm picking Neb Canuck over Super Sub Super Murloc, and I'm picking Jerry in the 3, continuing after stomping me 3-0. And that match actually wasn't. I say that full well knowing how that match went. It was really not close. I did not play well. So yeah, 3-2 Illidan's Death Knights. I believe that leaves Saku.
Yep.
Yeah, and I got the Plants defeating Clone, Marty B defeating Easy Bake, JR winning versus Comp, but I tried to get that on stream, but unfortunately the time didn't work for Comp, so it's all good. We got Neb Canuck over Super Murloc, although I think Super Murloc has the capability to beat Neb Canuck easy.
Yeah.
Then we have Timothy Chambers defeating Jerry this week. So 3-2 IDK.
I'm cool with that.
Mhm.
I will also say, with Super Murloc, I'm very excited to have him be playing for us. I
Mhm.
feel bad that Swelly had to take a step back due to real life stuff.
Yep.
But I was also very happy that Super Murloc was so he saw my post and literally 2-3 minutes later was like, I'd like to join if you'll have me, and I'm like, perfect. But I will say the funniest part about it is the fact that for those of you who don't know, Super Murloc's wife, Corky Turtle, also plays in THL. She hasn't played the last couple seasons just because she's been very busy with various real life things. But she is a tough player as well, and she subbed for my team last season. So I can't help but find it hilarious that
Yeah.
he's doing it this season.
That's great.
Yep.
So it worked out very nicely. But if I had to do the match predictions, I feel like if I say 5-0, I'm jinxing myself. So
You're allowed to.
Do it.
Do it.
Well, we all know you want. We all know that's what you're thinking, but yeah, I understand wanting to make realistic picks.
I'm going to say that in fairness, I'm going to say 4-1.
Okay.
I think the only person who's going to lose is Murloc. I think he actually has a really good shot of beating Nebcanuck.
Yeah.
The whole stuff regarding them and their classes was would take way too long for me to explain. But the point is, I feel pretty confident in his abilities in the 4. So yeah, I'm hoping we just can get a big win this week. I'm like, these guys are a really tough opponent, and I mean, we still have some tough teams left, including Icicles' team. But we've every win,
So
you know.
I'm looking at the standings.
Okay, I literally jinxed myself. we have results. Super Murloc just got swept by Nebcanuck.
Aw.
There you go.
That's
I blame myself for that one.
So JR, I'm looking at the PR. There's a non-zero chance I'm in a 3 when we play each other. So could be fun.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, I mean, it's either I play you or I play Risen, and I love both of those options.
Could play GHP too. Like we're all kind of a jumbled mess.
Yeah,
there.
you guys are like moving around a bit. I really want to play personally you or Risen, because Risen and I haven't played in the longest time, and I don't think I've ever played you, if I remember correctly.
No, you're usually playing Dart, so we know how that goes.
Yes, that's right.
Speaking of me and my team, Saku, you want to give us a rundown for a Blood Bloomers versus Caster?
Yep, real quick. So we got Atmos versus Icicles, which was played by our host right now, and unfortunately he lost 3-1. I got it was Sanguine, GHP, and then we have A Tour versus Risen, Medusas versus Jester, and then G Kick versus Silver Fox. So my predictions this week were Adam. I had GHP winning, Risen winning, Medusa's defeating Jester, and I got G Kick. One loss to him, but he defeats Silver Fox in a good match there. So 3-2 Bloomers for me this week.
Yeah, I can go ahead and jump in and give y'all a little bit of a rundown of what happened between me and Atomos. So we played last night. There were 4 games played. It was a 2-hour series. Every game except the game I played Priest.
2 hours. Oh my
when I
God.
played Priest, it did not go to fatigue, but the other 3 matches all did. So yeah, that was a series. He is a phenomenal player. I feel like a couple games I should have won, but I just got outplayed. And hats off to him. Definitely earned that victory. And yeah, we both
That reminds me of when I played Brushy Tuna a few seasons ago in Legacy. I swept him, but the entire match was like at least a good hour and a half to 2 hours, because we were like playing control decks the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't even necessarily playing like the controliest decks. It just kind of worked out that way.
Right.
But yeah, I'm picking the rest of my team to win though, because that's how a captain should do it. Everyone else wins.
Sure.
It's a good call.
Definitely.
What do you think?
Okay, I have I'm picking a 3-2 Chaos Theory. GHP and Risen taking it respectively in the 2 and 3. I have Jester in the 4, and I have G Kick in the 5, because G Kick OP. So yeah. Even though Icicles lost, the rest of his team picks him up. Let's go.
That's what happened last time. I lost to Ron on a Tuesday, and then the rest of the team all won. So I'm hoping that history repeats itself.
Definitely. That'd be good. Some good history. And then I guess we have JR give picks.
Yep.
That's it.
Here we go.
Never
yeah,
mind.
I think that this one's a tough one. Because a lot of these are pretty close in my opinion. I'm gonna say Notorious GHP is gonna take it over Sanguine. I think Risen takes it over Ator. I think what is it? Oh, I think Jester takes it over Medusas, and then I would love to see Silver Fox get a big win here, but G Kick OP in the 5, so G Kick is taking this one take it there, and then that'll be 3-2 Chaos Theory. I think you guys are going to get another win.
I hope so.
And if you lose, you can blame me. I understand.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay. That curse. Okay. So, I do not believe we have an interview this week.
We do not.
Of any sorts. I mean, if Chad has any questions, maybe we can field like one or two, but otherwise we can just close out the stream here.
I think we're pretty much set. I think at this point, the takeaway from this is that everything feels very close right now. Everything feels very uncertain. Even with HSA being undefeated right now in gold, it still feels like there's a lot of uncertainty to be unpacked from the current season. So I'm very excited to see what happens, and I'm hoping that maybe after this week we'll have a little bit better picture of what the playoffs might look like. But again, we're definitely not going to be doing a full playoff picture until right before week 9.
Yeah,
So bear that in mind.
I'm
So
very.
we have 2 weeks from now is when we'll have like a full picture ready. So I hope you guys look forward to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That week we're actually gonna have Icicles back on for that. Awesome.
That is correct. Next week we're gonna have Kel returning with us, and then the week after Icicles is back, and we'll hope to have a fun week to close out the regular season.
Yeah, so I guess that's gonna do it for us this week.
Icicles, anything you want to add?
Yeah, Icicles.
I'm excited to be part of that stream, the week 9 stream. So it should be a good one.
Yes. We'll try to have everybody like with doing playoff predictions, the usual playoff shtick, as we say.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I think that more or less does it.
Sure.
Thank you all so much for coming to watch the stream. We're obviously going to be back again next Thursday, same time, same place. Feesh, anything you want to add?
Nothing. I mean, just thank you all for watching. Thank you to my co-hosts, obviously, for making this an enjoyable show every single week. And then we have content coming up for the rest of the week. We have Friday Night Fights tomorrow night. I will be casting with somebody. I think it's just gonna be me and Saku for most of it. It's gonna be 8 p.m. We have a Legacy Red match. We have Shun Shui versus Lefty, so that's gonna be a fun match between two friends. We have 9 p.m. Pro Series match. Corridon versus Myanodon. Canadian Clown Fiesta versus the Beard Boys. At 10 p.m. we have a wild match. We have Brushy Tuna versus Zeroshio. Patches Payback versus the Bash Brothers. That's a blue conference match. We have Schoolstone. We have a Schoolstone match on Saturday. We have FBM2 or Reggie of Due Process, which is JR's, which is the pro team that JR captains, versus Cool Kid 2001 of Hype Horizon. Salty Saturday, which is Donde and Friends. We actually do not have any matches currently, so if you have a match, have a match at that time or want to schedule a match, then feel free to contact Donde about that. And then Sunday, and we'll round out with Sunday Showdown, Corridon and Friends. Hero Teal match, Chewbacca from Ask HS versus G Kick of the Transfer Students. A battle of two very, very strong players in Hero. And at 8 p.m. we have another Hero Teal conference match. Based Inc. versus Donde. D-Dab on them versus My Chemical Skullomance. Yeah, that's
yeah. Both of these matches have playoff repercussions at this point. So, right now it looks like My Chemical Skullomance is definitely more or less out of the playoff running, but they're not too far behind the teams. They're not too far behind everybody, so who knows what's possible. But the dab on them is definitely making it. And then Ask HS versus the Transfer Students is most likely going to be a match of, well, one of them makes it and one of them misses it. Not guaranteed, but it's certainly going to be exciting to watch unfold just for those reasons alone.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then also we are going to have the same shows, obviously, Monday through Thursday, Wild and Out Monday. Got Saloon on Tuesday, Heart Center on Wednesday, and back right here to Tavern Talk on Thursday.
Yes, it's very it's going to be a very strange feeling because here Hero playoffs start next week, and we still have another 2 weeks of regular of Legacy regular season before playoffs start for that. So
Pros got forever, and Pros got forever.
Exactly. Like everything's starting and ending at different points. So
Yep.
stay tuned, stay informed. We will look forward to providing you with more content as time goes on.
Yep. Again, thank you
But
all
I think
for
that
watching.
covers it.
Yeah, that covers it.
Thank you all for coming. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Greeting, traveler.